Welcome to the first meet of a Friday Night Heights doubleheader presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. Tonight we are in Gainesville for a much anticipated SEC matchup between number 6 Florida and the 8th ranked upstart Missouri Tigers, who are looking for the upset here in Exactech Arena. Hi there again with 9-time national champion Bridget Sloan. I'm Alex Perlman. Bridget, let's start with Florida, a team that's coming off of a couple of injuries against Oklahoma. We certainly know that Anya Pilgrim went through concussion protocol. Thankfully, she has been cleared and she will participate, but they did lose Sloan Blakely for the season, unfortunately.
It was a tough weekend for the Gators, but one thing that I really liked about them is they never gave up. They've got a lot of talent on this team, so now is the time for that talent to rise and get in these lineups. And talking about talent, we've got two right here.
I mean, where would the Gators be this year without Leanne Wong and Selena Harris Miranda? They have been so important to this team, and they represent usually almost half of the team's counting scores. It's absolutely incredible, but they're going to need some help tonight.
And Danny Ferris is an athlete who she's kind of on that reserve list, but now is the time. She is ready to step up. She's got big gymnastics. She's so clean in her gymnastics, which is really what sets her apart. And teammate Skylar Drazer, she's one of my favorites. She is the leadoff on balance beam, and she's just a steady Eddie. She's cool, she's calm, she's confident. She's the athlete you want in that leadoff on the hardest event, balance beam.
On the other side, let's get into Missouri, because under Shannon Welker, they're having maybe their best season ever. They have been 197 plus, a great score 5 consecutive weeks, and they have never beaten Florida inside this building. Could be the night, Bridget.
You never know, Alex, but one thing that Missouri has done so well this year is they put in the work in preseason, and it shows. Their floor at Georgia, against Georgia, was outstanding.
There's a reason that they dub it Fab Floor, and it's something we've been looking forward to all night long, and you'll see it a little bit later in the third rotation, but this is a team that is 5th in the country on floor. Kennedy Griffin towards the end of that lineup, already as a 10. It came 2 weeks ago in their Mizzou to the Lou meet, and we are so excited again to see Griffin and everybody else, and it's going to be incredibly important to see what Jenny Rowland's team does tonight, because I think it's going to make a statement to the college gymnastics world.
Alex, when we talked to Jenny earlier this week, it wasn't the meet that they wanted at Oklahoma, but she really has never given up hope. She's never given up on this team, and I'm excited to see what they do tonight.
The Gators will start on vault, where they are 4th in the country on this event. They finished the rotation with 2 of the top 5 ranked vaulters in the nation. We mentioned Leanne Wong and Selena Harris Miranda. Lee Boy will start things off, the freshman from Swisher, Iowa, at a gauge 9.725 for her last week. This is someone that can really give Florida a spark at the beginning of this rotation.
Absolutely. Alex, this is an athlete, once she gets a couple more meets under her belt, the confidence, I see it every weekend, the confidence is building. And in this leadoff position, it is her job to really get the meet started.
A couple more years as well, because she's only 17. She turned 17 last week, the youngest gymnast that Jenny Rowland has ever had here in Gainesville.
This is a big moment. This is a 10-0 start value. Yurchenko 1.5. Very nicely done. Would love to see her control that landing, but she really popped off the vault, which is where she kind of struggled with last week. So I'm really happy to see her, again, get that block. Great form throughout, and a big hop on the landing.
All right, well, it's really strength versus strength, because Missouri is 4th in the country, tied with LSU on bars. They had a 49.425 last week. And this is, again, a lineup that finishes with 2 of the top 10 in the country in Amari Celestine and Mari Titarsoli. Kira Burns will lead off, the senior from Missouri.
Bars is an event that Missouri has they have improved dramatically. And one thing Shannon Welker told us earlier, Alex, was they went into the gym and they worked on drills. They worked on the basics, and now their routines are just amazing. Excited to see what Kira does here.
Burns, other than last week, has got 9.825 or better in every single routine this year.
Gonna start with a single bar release here. Little far, but great control, getting that swing back. Gorgeous pass handstand. Such a smooth bar swinger and a stuck dismount. Wow, what a start for Missouri. Gets a handshake. But right here, this is a Jaeger. She's gonna flip, arms fully extended, combo right down to the low bar. Very well done. Nice start for Missouri.
So Florida started off with Lee Bui at 9.775, and a late change here for Florida in the vault lineup. Victoria Nguyen making her first start of the season on this event, and they're looking to drop now that 9.775. Remember, you count the 5 highest scores, and one of them goes away. Let's see if it's here with Nguyen.
This is another Yurchenko 1.5. Wow!
Statement.
She has been wanting to get into this vault lineup, and Jenny, I think you might have to keep her. That was a beautiful vault. Yurchenko 1.5. Great form throughout. In the slow-mo, her legs are, they're just a little bit soft. Would love to see her really lock out those knees, but a stuck landing, no movement. Awesome job.
And judges will take a little bit off there, but that is much better than the 9.775 we saw. As, again, you want your routines to build in terms of the scores so that Wong and Harris Miranda are set up for big ones at the end of that rotation. All right, Kira Burns scores in 9.85. Very good start for Missouri in the leadoff spot. And now we are going to see Raina Light, the sophomore from Brandon, Florida, who has been inserted into this lineup. Also expecting to see her on floor.
Now another smooth bar swinger for Missouri. Maloney tack right down at the low bar. So far, I'm seeing clean gymnastics, nice pass handstand there. Just the dismount, double layout. Very nice job. Really, the biggest deduction right there was the hop on the landing.
And Victoria Nguyen's score for Florida came in 9.975. Not bad for your first vault of the season. All right, we mentioned that the 5 best scores count. Lowest is dropped in a dual meet format in college gymnastics. For Florida, home team order, it's called Olympic order, as well as it's known vault, bars, beam, and they finish on floor, which here inside this building is really a massive advantage. All right, Danny Ferris to follow up. Victoria Nguyen's big score. Here's the sophomore.
Another Yurchenko 1.5. Opened up a little bit early. You saw her arms kind of come to the side. She tucks them in so tight in the twist. Unfortunately had to take a step backwards, showing the judges under rotation. So right here, just opens them a little bit early. Still a very clean vault. And again, coming after Victoria Nguyen's huge 9.975.
Next on the bar is for Missouri.
We are just waiting on this score to come in here for Raina Light, as Missouri will try to do something they have never done so far in their history, is win in this building. Their lone win came back in 2018 in Columbia, but it's also been a while since that as well. So who knows, we might be seeing some history. Olivia Kelly would contribute to that, the freshman from the Bronx, one of the newcomers who's made a huge impact.
Olivia's got a huge release. It's a church. Oh, touches her feet on the mat. Unfortunately, that will be a deduction. Just had too much power, too much amplitude there. And the dismount. Hop on the landing. This is going to be the score that Missouri is going to look to drop. The one thing that she does so well, though, she flies. So this is called a church. I mean, very, very high. And unfortunately, just couldn't get that momentum back and under control. Ended up putting her feet down, but one thing I loved about it, she kept it going.
And so we will certainly see a deduction there. Danny Ferris with a 9.85, and now here's Gabby Disidor, the sophomore from Overland Park, Kansas. One of those that could really step up here tonight.
She's been working on the landing. Excellent job. She has been dialed in on this vault landing. A tiny hop. To be honest, Alex, normally she takes a pretty significant step because she's got some power. Really nice to see her really hone in on that tonight.
Yeah, and Dizador had only been in the vault lineup the last 2 weeks. She had a 9.875 at Oklahoma, where she took a much more sizable step forward. So we'll see what the judges do with that one. Back-to-back 9.85s to start Missouri off on bars, but then again, we are going to see Kelly's score come in, and it will be the one that this team will want to get rid of as Hannah Horton gets ready to salute out of Minnesota. She entered the bars lineup this season. Was all SEC as a freshman, competing vault and floor, adding bars this season. What are judges looking for here on this event?
Handstands. They are looking for deductions, and the main deduction is on a handstand. They love to see the big releases, and of course the stuck dismounts. That's the last thing a judge sees is the dismount. So when you can capitalize on that, and you see Hannah Horton working on that, feet, getting her heels together.
The judges trying to make sure that everything adds up. Usually in the score values that, we expect, they have to be about a 10th off. If they're more than a 10th, then, well, we have to go back and see is the start value correct. They have to make sure that they get that down before the execution score comes in. It's a lot to think about for the officials, isn't it?
Yeah, these are what I like to call just a good old-fashioned judges powwow. I'm not a big fan of them, honestly.
All right, well, Sunday, 8 Eastern, we're going to have a 3.5-hour best of this weekend's SEC Indoor Track and Field Championship right here on the SEC Network. Who's going to knock off Arkansas, the defending men's and women's champs? I want to go back to, though, something you just said, Bridget. You're not a fan of the judges' powwow. Not a fan of the judges is not exactly what you meant there, right?
No, of course. I know that they do their job, but, man, when you have such a discrepancy of the score, it's a little bit questionable, but they always seem to get it back.
Well, and this has really taken a long time here for Olivia Kelly's score to come in. I would have to think it has something to do with her foot brushing the score and how that affects the start value.
Yes,
right?
so it was a combination. So she did that church right down to the low bar. A little questionable, but Hannah Horton ready to go.
All right, here we go.
Very nicely done. Hannah's execution is what really stands out to me. Beautiful pass handstand, toes pointed. She's got a double layout dismount. A step on the landing, but a very clean. She is just one of those athletes that I'm in awe of. She is so clean on uneven bars. Does a really nice double layout here. Great height, just doesn't absorb it enough to get the stuff.
And Olivia Kelly's score came in at 9.8. So even if they did need to count that score, that would not be a big deal at all. Here's Leanne Wong, our first look at the terrific all-arounder. 9.9 last week. She had a 39.6 in the all-around against Oklahoma. Already owns the Gym Slam, a perfect 10 on every event.
This is a big one. So well done. Just the hop on the landing. She's a perfectionist. She likes doing her gymnastics so well and to the best of her ability. I know she wanted to stick that ball, but one thing she does well is she controls any type of mistake. She minimizes the size of the hop and does a really nice job.
Well, she's had 6 straight 9.9 plus vault routines, ranked 5th in the country, and finishing off with Leanne and then Selena Harris Miranda in the anchor spot. That is going to be something that makes Jenny sleep a little bit easier at night, although it probably wasn't the most sleep-filled week, you would say, after what happened at Oklahoma. Here's Amari Celestine following Hannah Horton's 9.85. This has been very consistent for the Tigers on bars.
Amari adding bars back. Nice job. I had the pleasure of talking to her earlier this year, and when I asked, how did you add bars back? She was like, honestly, I don't even know. I mean, this is an athlete that didn't even realize the talent that she has.
And she's got probably the most fun bars dismount in the country.
I love a different dismount. It's unique, but the one thing she does so well, she's not afraid to take it a little too far. She's not afraid to use that power that she has on uneven bars. And again, this dismount, sticks it cold. She's excited, team's excited.
That is her dismount, the Celestine. She sticks it more often than not. Ranked number 6 in the country on bars, and now we go to someone who's ranked 4th in the country on vault, Selena Harris Miranda, to close out the first rotation here for Florida, following up the 9.925 from Leanne.
This is big. Yurchenko 1.5. And sticks it cold. Alex, I think she is the stick queen on vault. Wow.
She already has 4 perfect 10s on vault in her career, 3 of them coming last year alone. I don't know what you do with that. I really don't.
I'm sure the judges will find something, but that was just the height, the distance.
It's gorgeous.
There is the tiniest leg separation.
Yeah, you can see that.
When she goes back, but
I don't think it's going to matter. It is a 10 for Selena Harris Miranda to finish off the vault rotation for Florida. Statement made with a 49.625 for the Gators. And now Mara Titarsoli, who has 2 10s of her own on bars, has to flush all of that out.
and you know what? This is an athlete that can. She is driven, she is focused, and this is her event. Beautiful handstand there, execution. She's got a double back dismount. Could we see?
It might be back to back.
That was gorgeous. There's a reason that she was at the NCAA Championships as a specialist on this event.
Well, we certainly know that we've had 110 today. I wonder if we get 2.
She has a blind full pirouette into a double tuck and just, I mean, that was beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. All right, so Amari Celestine's score of 9-9 as we wait on Titarsoli's to come in and see where Missouri stands after one rotation. This has been everything that we had hoped for and more here to start off this meet. Well, coming up, we are going to dive into the really tight battle in the middle of the SEC Pac. That's when Friday Night Heights, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market, continues. And we leave you with Selena Harris Miranda's 10 on vault, the first 10-0 on vault this year in the country. Titarsoli's score came in as a 9.95, so right now it is Florida in the lead by just a little over 2/10. This is really still anyone's meet. And you can see that Missouri and Florida right now are the last 2 teams into the evening session of the SEC Championship. You have to be in the top 4. 5 through 8 make it, though they'll be in the afternoon session. Alabama right now, the only team on the outside looking in. They've got some work to do. But look how close it is between 4th and 7th. So let's tell you a little bit more about those teams that are vying for the evening session. Start with Auburn. Bridget, it was a question mark coming in. They're so young.
They're a young team, but they have so much talent, and I really think they're believing in themselves this year. Sophia Gross, an outstanding athlete, but Kiko Jong, she's the one, man.
Kentucky, on the other hand, is a team that's been low 197s all year long, very consistent.
One of the most consistent teams in the SEC, in my opinion, and one of the most underrated. They've got the talent. They want to be in that night session.
Georgia's back in the conversation thanks to new leadership.
And new leadership can mean so many things, but for Georgia, it has really elevated their gymnastics, their performance, and they look good. The culture there seems to be what it should be, and the scores are showing.
And we have seen Missouri this season, and in this meet, we've seen former newcomers become veterans that are still making a huge impact.
Missouri's got the secret sauce. They put up big scores. They're not afraid to go a little bit far on their power. They hone in on their sticks, and they put up good scores. That is why they are in the night session as of tonight.
Well, we are definitely going to see them in Birmingham. Mara Titarsoli going to be a huge part of that. We saw her already with the 9.95 to close out the first rotation. They're both right here on SEC Network, the afternoon and evening session, 3:30 and 8 Eastern, respectively, March 22nd in Birmingham. We've got the second rotation on the way with Florida holding on to a slight lead over Missouri. And on vault for the Tigers, one of those terrific underclassmen, a high flyer on vault, Hannah Horton. And then on bars for Florida, Leanne Wong, capable of a 10 anytime. The second half of this Friday Night Heights doubleheader coming up next is Lily Hudson and Alabama are in Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. That's a really important meet. Well, we just mentioned making the SEC tournament is so important. Those are the two teams that are trying to get to the championship in Birmingham. Well, I mean, we're already off to a flying start. Look at what Florida was able to do with that 49.625 on vault, which is a new season high for them in that apparatus, and also the fourth highest vault score in school history. Shannon Welker is looking to clarify some things with judges, and we're being told that this is a possible jewelry violation. Bridget, explain that.
Well, it's a little tough because you see these athletes, they have their ears pierced. A lot of athletes wear necklaces, but when you are competing, there have been a lot of changes to what you are allowed to wear. And unfortunately, when judges catch it, they don't let it go. I mean, they see it and it's an immediate, it is a deduction. It's something that, as a coach, you think, what? But.
Well, Shannon, just signed something, so he seems to be, ready to go and okay with whatever just went down. As Missouri will head to vault, Florida to bars. Expecting a lineup change as well before we start this thing for Missouri. And on vault, this is a team that this was their lowest scored rotation against Georgia, just a 49.125 a week ago. At their weakest, when you talk about the national ranking, 17th in the country. And so we just need to see, if they're able to keep up that momentum, because it was a great bars rotation, even though they're trailing the Gators.
They had a fantastic bar rotation, and I really do feel like they can transition into this second event. They're such a fun team to watch. I mean, they're going to have a party on floor exercise, so I'm really excited about that. But vault is an event that when watching them in warm-ups, they were really focusing on the detail, really focusing on holding the landings. I would see the athletes do the vault, land. If they didn't stick it, they would do a huge high jump again to really absorb that landing. So this is a team that vault might not be their strongest event, but they are working on improving that every single week.
So Missouri, it was just a warning on the jewelry. There has been no deduction, which is great news for Shannon Welker and the Tigers. And there was a late change. You can see in the third slot, Kaya Tonskanen, very talented freshman who was in the mix for floor as well. She was a potential, when she warmed up today, not in the submitted floor lineup, though of course we know that could change because she just went into vault, so who knows. But what we do know is that Kennedy Griffin is waiting a long time here to start things off here at the end of the runway.
And I've been waiting a long time, but she's ready to go now. Big leadoff vault for Missouri. A Yurchenko full. Alex, I'm going to be honest. When these Yurchenko fulls are competed, they are so nice. I mean, it's a 9.95 start value, so it's not that 10.0, but this is a beautiful vault. Little leg bend right there. And just the tiniest shuffle. I wouldn't even call that a hop. That was a shuffle in my eyes. So again, a very nice clean start for Missouri.
And that is exactly what they were looking for. And here is the return of Anya Pilgrim after suffering from a concussion against Oklahoma on this very event to lead off the meet. She went through protocol. She was cleared and practiced fully this week.
This is a big moment for Anya. She loves to compete. She loves to be in the lineups. It happened right here.
Right on that Van Leeuwen.
No problems tonight. Just a dismount.
Yeah, that's the Anya Pilgrim that we're used to, isn't it?
Fantastic job. That has to just mean so much, being able to come back after a fall into a beautiful routine. So this is a Van Leeuwen. She's gonna go in a half twist. And last week, she just couldn't get her hands around the bar. No problems today.
Someone that is capable of starting off Florida with a big score, and I'm pretty sure she did just that. Good start for Kennedy Griffin in Missouri with a 9.85, and now here's the freshman Kelly.
And Another Yurchenko full, just a slight hike down at the end and a hop on the landing. If you are doing those 995 start values, you've got to focus on the detail of your body position in the step landings.
And so 985 to begin. We will see what Kelly's score comes in as well. Here's Riley McCusker. Missed all of last year after ankle surgery. She was at one point during her elite career the best, I mean easily one of the best, bar workers in the entire world. Pilgrim score of 9.9, well deserved, and that gets Florida back off to a good start.
Maloney to the high bar, right back down to the low bar. Riley's bars are almost elegant. I mean, exceptional toe point. Dismount double tuck. Just a hop on the landing, but overall, execution-wise, very nicely done. Pointed toes, legs together. And this is another Van Leeuwen. These are very popular in college gymnastics, really in gymnastics in general. And these college athletes, they do them so well. I mean, they are flying from the low bar to the high bar.
All right, well, here is that late change as we get to see Kaya Tonskanen for the first time, who was in for the Towson transfer, the redshirt junior, Elise Tisler.
This is a big moment for Missouri. Very nicely done. That was actually a soup layout full, not a vault that we're used to seeing. I love the difference. It's a different entry. We see Yurchenkos all day long in front pike with a half, but really, really well done. I love the height.
Sunday, our final SEC Network women's basketball triple header of the regular season. Action getting underway noon Eastern. It's number 11 Tennessee hosting Georgia. Really tough to beat them, of course, in Knoxville. And then Florida, number 1 Texas. And let's cap the afternoon off with number 7 LSU as Kim Mulkey's Tigers host Ole Miss right here on SEC Network. All right, well, we mentioned off the top that Sloan Blakely out for the season. She was having such an incredible year, suffered a lower leg injury doing floor at Oklahoma, but here is her incredibly talented sister, Sky Blakely, recovering from that Achilles tear earlier this year.
Wow, so far, so good. She's got a big dismount here. Double front with a half. Beautiful job, a hop on the landing, but this release, Alex, I didn't know if she was gonna catch it. She flew so high and she extended those arms. This is the best look right here. And then just beautiful floats down to the low bar, and this double front with a half. Sloan likes it.
Loves it. I'll go a step further. I think she loved it. All right, here's Hannah Horton.
Our first Yurchenko 1.5 of the night. Just a step on the landing.
Well, she stuck her Yurchenko 1.5 last week, too. She's dialing in those landings.
And this is an event where, when we talked to Shannon earlier, he said, you know, we're getting these great scores, but we're not sticking a lot of landings. So this is really where he wants to see his team focus in, dial in, and if you are going to make a mistake, try to make it controlled.
All right, so we wait on Sky's score after a 9.9 and a 9.85 from Pilgrim and McCusker, a 9.9 from Blakely. All right, Florida's on fire early on, and this is somewhere they compete so well. They needed to make a statement, a little rebuttal saying, hey, we're still Florida. We are still a potential national championship contender like they have been every year, pretty much under Jenny Rowland and the reigning NCAA Bars champion, Leanne Wong.
It's going to go right back up. Another Van Leeuwen. Love that her legs are glued together. Double layout. Wow. I mean, that was pretty good.
That's
pretty good. She aims for perfection every single routine. She is a perfectionist, and that's why she is so good. But finishes this routine with a double layout. Just gorgeous.
twice a U.S. Olympic team alternate for Tokyo and Paris. You saw getting a hug from assistant coach Owen Field, who was with her in Paris as well. All right, Hannah Horton's score was 9-9, really good. And now here's Jocelyn Moore, capable of a huge number.
A lot of power in that vault. Would love to see her stick it. I know she wanted to stick that vault, but here's the thing. When you have too much power, that's not a bad thing. You just have to go back in and learn to focus in on it. She actually kept her arms in a little too long. She normally opens up right there where her head is actually, she's actually gonna spot at the end, but she held that arm a little too long, causing her to continue that rotation, ultimately leading in the big step forward.
We will still see Jocelyn on floor as well. You won't want to miss that. All right, here is Selena Harris Miranda, who is coming off of a 10 on vault, the first ever in this season on vault. And Jocelyn Moore's score we wait on. Selena Harris Miranda following Leanne Wong's 9.975. She's having a night as well. Score to drop at the moment, you can see it is Riley McCusker's 9.85. So look at the score tower right side of your screen. The scores that are grayed out, McCusker for Florida and Missouri's Olivia Kelly, those are the scores that the teams are set to drop.
Very nice single bar release for Selena, showcasing that perfect handstand position. Into her double layout.
She's putting together a meet.
She already has a 10 on vault. And coming after Leanne Wong's 9.975, that was pretty good. And one thing she does so well, her release moves. She rotates back to the bar in this handstand. A little overdone, a little bit, but one thing, she's solid. She doesn't have that body break in that position, so the judges are not going to take a deduction on that. But again, just showing the detail matters.
All right, Amari Celestine now, who had a 9.9 in the anchor spot last week on her Yurchenko 1.5. Every vault this year has been at least a 9.8, and she's following up Jocelyn Moore's 9.9. 2 straight from Missouri.
Alex, she stuck it in warm-ups. The tiniest top forward. I think Amari has one of the little booty bump from the coach. One of the best forms in this Missouri lineup. Just dialed in. She told me she's really working on execution because she knows the details matter. That's a veteran right there.
And we just saw back-to-back 9.9s, and that was arguably better than what we saw from Jocelyn Moore. I mean, much less of a step, too. So it should be a really good score to finish off Missouri. Here is Alyssa Arana, who is in for Victoria Nguyen. A couple of changes now for Florida late.
Alex, Jenny said that she has so much talent and she wants to give the opportunities. They're really not married to any sort of lineup so far, so Alyssa being in this lineup is huge. So far, so good. Double way out. A step on the landing, but for an athlete that's not common in this bar lineup, it just goes to show the depth that Florida has.
Well, it's a 49.55 at worst for Florida on bars. They have had a tremendous second rotation, just like they did in the first, and really continuing to build. Season highs for both teams in rotation number 2. Well, coming up, we are going to take a look at a real Tiger team player from Missouri, Mara Titar Soli, who competed at NCAA championships on bars last year, though by herself, she wants to change that. Next.
Long Island to this team has definitely been an adjustment, especially like competing in these full arenas. That's something I really had to get used to, but it just gave me so much energy, and it's just such an honor to be part of like one of the biggest conferences.
It's a perfect 10 for Tita Soli on the uneven bar.
So I don't really remember a lot of it because at the competitions I get really into like a zone, so when I look back on it, it's kind of a blur. I just remember going up there and feeling in my element, just going through my routine like every day and working through the little things in the routine, and then as soon as I landed, I could feel all the energy from the team from the sidelines, so that was really an awesome experience and it felt special in that moment. going all the way to nationals is definitely our goal as a team, and working really hard every day with that goal in mind. So being focused into the details, being confident, telling ourselves positive thoughts. It was definitely an honor and a privilege to represent Missouri at the national stage. However, I did really miss my teammates. It's such a different experience to be there as a team, and just the whole rotating together, doing all the events together. It's just so different, so I definitely miss my team there. So hopefully we make it this year.
Mara's really an excellent story because she mentioned, I mean, she started at LIU. She began that program with that team in 2021. She gets a perfect 10 in 2023. She transferred to Missouri. A year later, she gets another perfect 10. And it kind of speaks to what Shannon Welker's been able to build with the Tigers because he gets the most out of these transfers.
I really think he does, what he does so well is he really looks at the athlete, what they bring to the table, and you know what, it's just a testimony to the program that they get so many transfers and they do such a good job.
Mara with a 9.95 on bars tonight, but it has been all Florida so far. I mean, the Tigers are trying to hold with them, but back-to-back season highs in the first two rotations here for the Gators. And you don't want to miss Victoria Wynn coming up in the third rotation on beam, and then on floor, it's the fab floor for the Tigers. This is where they might really be able to make it in. Albert driving the bus. When you were in school here, did Albert have his driver's license?
No, he's really grown up since I graduated. I'm happy to see it.
Not to date you too much, of course, We've had two rotations, which means we're only halfway home, and already Florida has increased its lead from 2 1/4 tenths to now 4 1/4 tenths with back-to-back season highs on vault and on bars. This has been the bounce back that this team was looking for after a rough meet for a lot of reasons at Oklahoma last weekend.
I'm so happy to see them not let it burden them. Mistakes happen. Unfortunately, injuries come with this sport, but I really feel like this Florida team has risen to the occasion, and they are putting the best 6 that they have in these lineups.
Well, this is the event that they had so much trouble on. A 48-625 last week at Oklahoma. Suffered 2 falls at the end of the lineup. We'll see if Skylar Drazer can start them off well. Holds on to that.
Slight balance check there. Jenny had such good things to talk about on Skylar, and just that she is focused and she is chill. Very good things to have when you are on balance beam. Just the dismount to round off 1.5 twist. Tries to hold on to that stuck landing, unfortunately takes that step forward.
So that will start off Florida on the beam. They are the number 6 team in the country. Missouri excels at floor. Look at their season NQS and national qualifying score, how the teams are ranked now. 49-425, 5th in the country. They call it the Fab Floor in Columbia. That started last year, and I mean, nothing out of us. We don't have any qualms with it.
Not at all. I mean, this is a floor team that I get excited, that I get to watch because they are exceptional.
Elise Tisler starts it off. She led off with a 9.925 last week. This is a program that set their record 49.725 2 weeks ago and a 49.55 last week. So, I mean, the consistency factor's there.
Very nice first pass. That was a front layout into a front 1.5 twist. Gorgeous execution on those leads, showing that 180-degree split. Alex, when I talked to Shannon earlier this season, he's always had great tumbling. Like, Missouri has always had great tumbling, and I said, what's the difference? And he was like, you know, my choreography just wasn't good, so we had to bring in someone new. And it really has made just the confidence in these athletes is just oozing out of them. They shine, and man. Take another look here. This is her last pass. Round off 1.5 front layout. And you see Jackie Turpak, the assistant coach, the choreographer for this team, and she does a fabulous job really showing these athletes' personalities and just letting them shine.
A good start right there. Florida with a 9.75 from Skylar Drazer. They are going to look to drop that score. They are really looking, as we've seen throughout this meet, they're looking at high 9.8s, 9.9s in order to post the score that they want. They do only have to replace a 196.675, and their NQS will improve. All right, now Anya, who didn't compete beam last week after she was injured on bars.
Nice outdoor series there.
And there you see the composition of their season NQS for Florida, the 196.675. Even though it's at home, they can still replace that.
Very nice combination. Cat leap into her front aerial. Anya on beam just floats. Every element she does. Very nice leap combination. Switch leap to split leap and just the dismount. Gainer full and gets the stick. Love to see her back in the lineup. She is such a strong competitor and just so calm up on balance beam in this mount. I don't know how you learn how to do that, but man, oh man. Finishes with that gainer full off the side and gets the stick. Really nice job for Anya.
Yeah, it is great to have her back, and a well-deserved tug there from assistant coach Jeremy Miranda. Here's Hannah Horton, 9.875 for her last week, following up Tisler's 9.875. That is right where Missouri wants their leadoff score, because you get Horton and then Light, Celestine, Griffin, and more to come.
Huge tuck full in. I love the power that she brings, but the control. She's really learning to control that power, which that is important in Mammoth's dance.
You know, Georgia used to be the only team that was moonwalking, but
Not
Missouri has started too.
Not anymore.
Is it weird to compete when you're like trying to perform for a crowd and they're not responding to you?
It's a little tough to be the away team on floor exercise, but that's when you really hone in on your teammates. I mean, the team is going to bring the noise on the side. And that was a huge last pass. Front through to double tuck. Wow. Coming after a 9.875, Alex, she is set up for a good score, but these leaps, great execution, tight legs, the toe point, and then finishes with this front tuck step out into her double tuck. I love that she gets just right to her lunge. Those arms are tight by her side. Nice.
Victoria Wynn now on beam, the grad student from Houston. Her family coming all the way from Texas, just kind of piles everyone into the car, and they make the trip to Gainesville. She has 6 siblings. It is a handful. There are a lot of wins, including her brother Matthew, who now competes for the Illinois men's team.
A nodie into that back handspring. Really nice save. You saw that shoulder dip just a little bit, but the one thing Victoria does well is she will finesse any sort of balance break.
A veteran move right there.
Absolutely.
Her third year at Florida after competing her first 2 at Georgia. Has been in the SEC her entire time.
Beautiful leaps. Victoria actually goes above the 180 degrees in her leaps. Not only showcasing strength, but flexibility. And this dismount is a back handspring into a 1.5 twist. And gets the stick. Alex, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really solid. And exactly what they need as they continue to build that score from Drazer's 9.75 and Pilgrim's 9.85.
And the biggest deduction to me is you see that the left shoulder dip down. She really wants to keep those shoulders focused and dialed in these leaps. And mine did not look like that.
They must have been pretty good, though. All right, Hannah Horton's score came in 9.925. That is exactly what Missouri wants to see. And remember, they were down by a little bit over 4/10. So you can see as these scores come in, where they may be making up ground. Let's see what Raina Light can do as she replaces Tonskanen in the lineup.
And Alex, floor is an event. They are just they're confident, but man, they perform. They don't just do floor, they perform floor. Great jumps for Raina.
Not necessarily a home meet for her, but she's only from about 2 hours away in the Tampa Bay area. Brandon, Florida, her hometown. A lot closer than Columbia, Missouri, let's put it that way.
Just a little bit. Sticks it cold. That was great. I mean, that was a true performance. Such a fun routine. And this last pass, round off back handspring, double pike. Normally you would see those athletes jump to the lunge, but not for Raina. She just prefers to stick it cold.
And was a late addition back into this lineup as well. Well, now in both meets, we have Olympic alternates, with Jocelyn Robertson leading Arkansas as Friday Night Heights, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market, continues in Fayetteville. Arkansas and Alabama right here on SEC Network and ESPN app when we are done. Well, we go from Jocelyn to Leanne. That actually worked out perfectly, didn't it? Two-time SEC beam champion.
Front aerial to her split jump. Gorgeous handspring layout, step out.
You know, Florida's really going to want to see these scores build, though. Right now, dropping the 9.75, but, you know, counting a 9.85 and a 9.875. They're looking for a big score here tonight. You have to get them to that 9.9 range.
And the dismount, hop on the landing. Well, otherwise a really clean set for Leanne. Pretty much Leanne just doing Leanne things on the balance beam. This acro series though, I love this angle. Right over the top. And then this is a tuck, gainer full off the end. Just to hop on that landing. You know she wanted to stick that landing, but overall, again, a very clean set for Leanne.
I feel like we sort of get used to seeing that week in and week out from Leanne Wong, but you have to take time to appreciate it as well. All right, the bottom half of this lineup for Missouri is just stellar, and it starts with Amari Celestine. Second straight 9.95 last week. She has 27 scores of 9.9 or better on the floor. I mean, that's insane.
Big first pass here. So huge. Great control on the landing.
Look at that score for Raina Light, too. 9.9, you see on the right side of your screen.
So fun.
Jackie's
to
like
watch.
her mirror.
Final pass. Oh, wow. Incredible job for Amari. Just such a performer. This first pass, this is a tuck full in. I love the extension she has at the very beginning before that tuck, showing the full twist. And just so fun.
The swagger.
Front through to double tuck, held on to that. Immediate post, she knew she was falling out of it. Again, we talk about veterans. That is a veteran move.
Yeah, just kind of dancing out of it and covering that up. All right, here is Selena, 9.8 last week, usually the anchor, but Alyssa Arana is going to finish off this rotation right now, trying to drop that 9.75. Leanne Wong scored 9.925.
Alex, we talked to Jenny really about the lineups and how we would be seeing some shifts. A lot of similar athletes, but some shift of where they would go. Selena used very common in the anchor spot. Coming after Leanne's 9.925. Nice switch leap to straddle Porter. Another athlete that just overdoes the extension in her leaps.
She's competing for an all-around championship as well and already has a 10 and a 9.925. A little bobble there, though.
Little balance break on the full turn. A requirement in every beam routine. And sometimes that's the hardest part of the beam routine is the full turn. Dismount, round up 1.5. And sticks it. Really the biggest deduction for me was that full turn and just a little balance break. She's gonna start here. This is a triple series. Back handspring, layout step out, back handspring. Actually looked a little crooked, but saves it and got her toe caught. The beam will bite you back sometimes, but one thing she did really well is she controlled the mistake. Did not make it any bigger than it needed to be.
Absolutely. So we wait on Harris Miranda's score. Here's Kennedy. 9.925 last week, following her first career 10 on floor a couple of meets ago.
Alex, this is another routine. You just sit back and watch. This is a true performance. Opens with a massive double pike.
I mean, wouldn't you put Celestine, Griffin, and Moore up against anyone's bottom three in their floor lineup?
I would, personally. front tuck step out into her double tuck. Really nice save there. Alex, she was a little low on that front tuck step out. When we talk about power, she has got it. Incredible job. Right now, you are looking at a 9.925, a 9.9, another 9.9, and two of your best. In this last pass, front tuck step out, you just saw her arms bend a little bit, kind of slowing that rotation, but I love when her teammates, when any teammate knows the dance. It's like a rite of passage.
And they all do, for sure. and Kennedy, you know, it's not only the strong tumbling, but it's the performance quality. It's the choreography from Jackie Turpak. It's really a fun rotation, isn't it? All right, now Alyssa Arana, the sophomore from Miami, has a little bit of pressure on her because they really want to drop Drazer's 9.75 at the top.
Very floaty handspring layout step out.
This is only her second routine this year and her first on beam.
Slight balance break. You saw that right foot come off the beam. And it's so important to get athletes in the lineups, get them that exposure and get their confidence up. Because again, when you have injuries or you have, you know, when you're thrown in at the last minute, it's nice to say, not a problem. I was in last week too. Off the side, really nice job. Again, an athlete that we might not be used to seeing in the beam lineup, but I have a feeling she's gonna be a common athlete in the beam lineup. Really nicely done.
Yeah, definitely down the stretch. Well, coming up after us, the second half of our SEC network, Friday Night Heights doubleheader, Alabama and Arkansas. That is a crucial meet for the postseason because both of those teams need good scores to try to get themselves into the SEC championship and solidify that spot. Jocelyn Moore did not compete floor last week. She was a little bit sick, but previously had gone back-to-back 9.95s for the reigning SEC Specialist of the Year. In this routine, she's looking for her 30th career 9.9 or better floor routine.
Big first pass. Stunning double layout.
Kennedy Griffin scored 9.925. At the moment, their low score is a 9.875 that they're about to drop. They're going to make up ground on Florida here.
And we knew that they would. This is an event where the confidence, again, it oozes out of them, and they just perform. She kept that heel up. I don't think she would have been out of bounds, but again, keeping your heel up on the landing. She knew she was close, but what a performance. I mean, a true performer, all of them in this Missouri floor lineup.
They absolutely did not disappoint, the Fab floor.
First pass here, double layout. Nicely done. And this front tuck step out into her double tuck. I think she was close.
No, she's in.
She was close, and that, again, we talk about veteran moves. Alex, that is a veteran move, knowing that you're close, but keeping that heel up.
Yeah, that might be the spot that they take some deductions, but that might be it. All right, well, this is a brand new ball game, and coming up, we're going to take a look at the Gymnast of the Week and get you set for meet number 2 of our Friday Night Heights doubleheader here in Gainesville. For the first time this year, a perfect 10 on vault in college gymnastics belonging to Selena Harris Miranda, and that was certainly the start of the fireworks here inside Exactech Arena. And what about that floor rotation for Missouri? We knew that that might be an area that they could make their mark, and they did. It is now less than 2/10 the lead here for Florida. All right, so looking at this fourth rotation, we can see the current scores right now for both Missouri and Florida. If they hit their season average, well, this is going to be, in gymnastics terms, a bit of a runaway for Florida, but they are going to have to perform well on floor. Missouri is excellent on beam, and they have one of the best beam workers in the entire country in Helen Hu, who's already earned a 10 this year, the first one of the season in college gymnastics, and more than capable of another one tonight.
She is the co-specialist of the week, no surprise there. And she shares it with Anya Turner from Georgia. Really nice to see her there. Gymnast of the week, none other than Faith Torres. Outstanding performance last week. And no surprise here, freshman of the week, LSU's very own Kaylin Chio.
Her fourth consecutive all-around title. And she's a freshman. It's incredible. Gabby Gladio is going to try to lead Alabama past Arkansas. Not only that, put together a great meet, because Walagora, who is the former Alabama gymnast, that is going to be an interesting deal as she goes back and faces her former team. Well, we've got one more rotation to come here in Gainesville, and it is sure to be an incredible one. Oklahoma transfer Amy Weir, coming over to Missouri, has been able to make a real mark on beam. We will see her lead off. And coming up on floor, don't miss Jocelyn Moore as we return to Gainesville. Oh no. And number 8, Missouri here inside Exactech Arena. Alex Perlman joined by the Olympian and 9-time national champion Bridget Sloan. This is still really close. It is anybody's meet. Missouri has never won inside this building, and Florida is already looking for its 4th win over a top 15 team this season. It's looking more and more like they are going to drop that 196.75 they needed to and increase their NQS. The result, though, matters a lot for Missouri, because that is going to be a real feather in their cap, and what a capper it would be for them in what is perhaps going down as their best season in program history.
The goal for Missouri this meet was to put up a huge score. It's going to be a great road score for them, and so far they are doing just that, ending on balance beam, the hardest event, in my opinion, in gymnastics. But this is another opportunity for them to shine. I loved what Shannon told us earlier about it's not pressure, it's an opportunity, and he's really taken that to heart, and his athletes have too.
Missouri had a 49.325 last week. Their 6th straight meet of a 49.25 or better. If you extrapolate that out to every event, that's a 197 pace. So that's exactly where you want to be at. They're tied for 8th in the country on beam with their fellow SEC foe, Georgia. Amy Weir, the St. Louis native who started her career at Oklahoma, transferred in and basically only competed exhibitions. So is kind of basically a freshman at this point, but she has been a mainstay in the lineup, and it looks like we might have an issue here with the scoring system as we get ready to get this 4th rotation going.
So not a judge's powwow that we're used to seeing, but sometimes this is when athletes, I know when I was competing, there were times where you had to wait, and man, I was just crushing chalk on the floor, really just kind of keeping my mind calm. And you see Amy's kind of doing that. She's swinging her arms, she's making sure that she's staying warm before that flag goes up.
She salutes and she's ready to go to kick off rotation number 4. Less than 2/10 separating these two teams. That's a couple wobbles on beam or a couple steps on floor. That is how close this meet is right now.
Series, there was the tiniest balance break that I saw. She didn't stop moving her arms on that front aerial. Have to see what the judges think of that connection.
They've been very stringent on beam connections this year. We've heard multiple coaches talk to us about that.
On the landing, I was really hoping she was going to stick it. She was fighting for that landing, but a really nice start for Missouri. On balance beam, your leadoff, they almost have to be a guaranteed hit to boost the confidence for the remaining 5 athletes. Amy doing a really great job of that tonight.
So now Florida heads to floor, where they had a 49.35 last week. They are ranked 7th in the country. And you see Leanne Wong and Selena Harris-Miranda towards the end of that lineup once again. Selena hasn't done a floor routine below a 9.9 as a Gator, but this is an area where they have really had to replace Sloane Blakely. This is where she really shines, specifically on floor.
And Alex, this is, again, an opportunity for Jenny to showcase the depth of her team, the talent that she's got, and really an opportunity to rise to the occasion. Victoria has a very powerful floor routine, beautiful artistry you're going to see throughout. Stunning front double twist, so high into that Sassone.
And there are the Winds watching, making the trip from Houston. Mom Nikki filming. Got to be so cool to go through all of this, and then, as we said, her brother competing in his first year at Illinois in the men's gymnastics team. And for the first time, ESPN broadcasting the men's gymnastics national championship on April 19th on ESPN2 from Ann Arbor.
Getting the exposure that is well-deserved.
Agreed.
For men's gymnastics. A huge opportunity for them.
Especially after the Olympics they had.
And a gorgeous start for Victoria. What a night she's had. Started on vault, did a beautiful vault, just kept that momentum going to balance beam and then to floor. I was more impressed, Alex, that her parents are actually in their seats and able to watch. Mine really struggled watching me. Got very nervous. My parents.
Would they go into the concourse?
My mom would disappear sometimes.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, right? She had plenty of experience watching you compete, though. All right, following Amy Weir's 9.775, the freshman Rayleigh Jackson. In a best-case scenario, they would drop that 9.775 and only count scores, more in the 9.8, 9.9 range. We'll see what the rest of this lineup can do.
And Alex, you want your scores to build. So if you start with that 9.775, the goal is to just keep building. So it's not probably where they wanted to start, but it's still a solid score to build from. Just the dismount for Rayleigh. So far, this has been a really nice routine. Very minimal deduction that I have seen. A hop on the landing, but a very smooth, she's such a smooth beam worker. Just kind of floats through her elements. This dismount to round up 1.5 twist. takes the tiny hop forward, but very clean set.
9-9 for Florida on floor to begin for Victoria Wynn. Remember, she had a 9.975 on vault to start off her night. All right, Gabby Dissidor into the lineup now, following up Wynn.
Nice first pass. And Alex, when the judges are looking, we talk about the points of emphasis on every event, and for floor, it's the difficulty. They want to see the big skills in the presentation. Artistry is key here. A lot of athletes do big skills, so what's going to separate you? It's your artistry and dance, and of course, staying in bounds and the leaps. We want to see that 180-degree split. Off that handspring. 1.5 to front full. Nice little combination there. And this is her final pass. It's a round off 1.5 twist to front layout. And Jeremy Miranda, the choreographer, he has been the choreographer for a long time at the University of Florida. Very excited for that
wearing
routine.
the very, very colorful, as are you, Bridget, outfit tonight. The 5th straight year of Equality Night, celebrating equality for all. It was the first sport on campus to do it, first team in the SEC to hold that kind of event, and something that everyone here in the university is very proud of.
Absolutely. You didn't get the color memo?
I thought I did okay. Maybe not as many colors this year, but not monochrome by any means. 9.85 for Jackson, 9.775 for Weir. So the scores are building here as the freshman from the Bronx, Kelly, goes.
Gorgeous side aerial. Gearing up for her wolf turn. This is a requirement that she takes to the next level. That was a double wolf turn. Dismount, tiny hop on the landing, but ultimately a really nice routine.
Yeah, and she's really one of the reasons that I think Missouri is poised for a great future and a great present.
And Alex, this is a wolf turn. I have never done that skill. I don't think my knees would enjoy that very well. Would love to see her lock that straight leg out just a little bit straighter, but very difficult. Would not be good at those myself, but she does it very well.
Because coming up, I mean, looking at, Missouri's future, you've got Tonskinen, you've got Horton, Griffin, of course, Kelly. I mean, that's a bright future.
Absolutely.
It's a really bright future for when you say goodbye to someone like Celestine and more. Taylor Clark, talking about great freshman from Orange Park, Florida. 9.775 for her last week. Bridget, let's watch this first pass specifically, because she had a little bit too much power there last meet.
The double layout.
Much better.
So exciting. It's such an honor to watch these athletes do these huge tumbling passes, and when they have too much power, it makes me just think you're going to be fine. It's a lot easier to have too much power than not enough.
Florida's putting the pedal down to Wynn and Dissidor back-to-back 9.9s. So increasing their lead when you compare it to what Jackson and Kelly did on beam.
Great extension on those leaps. Final pass. Wow. Alex, you mentioned that she's had a little bit of trouble on that first pass with too much power. This is an athlete that it clicked. I mean, she's got the power, but she's learning to control it. This is a double layout. Huge. And gets the lunge. Excellent just execution on those leaps. And right here, this is the last pass. He's excited.
He is. Jeremy's always excited. I love that. All right, here's Amari Celestine closing out her all-around night. She didn't compete beam last week, but we usually do see her in the all-around. And look how close this is right now with Wong, Harris, Miranda, and Celestine.
Punch front. Nicely done. She had some trouble with that in warm-ups. Such a rare skill that we see in college. And the dismount. Really nice job. But Alex, this is the most impressive part of this beam routine. Her side aerial. I don't know how she saved this, but this back handspring, watch her feet. Her heel completely came off the beam, but she covered it so well. That was impressive.
I mean, you've only got 4 inches of beam to work with, 4 inches of material there, and she was able to keep her entire body weight on that beam. Really impressive, and that was exactly the routine that Missouri needed following up Olivia Kelly's 9.875. All right, Leanne Wong clinches the all-around with a 9.95. Nothing worse than 9.925 so far, and that is exactly what she did last week. Is here a little bit of a different kind of floor routine. No violins this year, and Jenny Rowland was telling us how excited, she is to see Leanne in her last season and take on this kind of role.
First pass, double layout. Gorgeous. Round off whip, half to front full. I don't think I stopped smiling once when I was watching this routine. Leanne is she has such beautiful artistry, but this is such a fun routine for her.
And she's really taken to it.
Well, this first pass, it's a double layout. Watch her teammates. They're excited.
Next up on the beam for the Missouri Tigers.
She needs a 9.95 in order to clinch the all-around, and whatever that score comes in as, it's going to be a high one, and is helping Florida to potentially staving off an upset bid from Missouri. Addison Lawrence just off her season high of 9.9 last week with a 9.875. That is what we have seen from Missouri back-to-back from Kelly and Celestine. But again, Florida continues to increase their lead when you compare the scores.
Yeah, I would love to see Missouri break into that 9.9. But if we want to look at it this way, they're consistent. I mean, they're still being very consistent. Difficult combination. That was a side aerial back handspring. Very nice jumps. Keeps that chest held high. Just the dismount, Addison has done a fabulous job so far. Had a little rough warm-up, but so happy to see her do it when it counts. That was big for Missouri, and that was big for Addison. Ends this routine 1.5, sticks it cold. I mean, that's what Missouri wants to see.
Now back to floor we go with Selena Harris Miranda, the UCLA transfer, the reigning Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year, who, according to Jenny Rowland, they felt very confident that they could provide the support that she was looking for coming here to Gainesville. Got her 6th 10-0 of her career earlier tonight on vault. That has become her calling card, starting with Dreaming of You by Selena. Now, Leanne scored 9.925, so this all-around competition is not quite done yet, is it? Selena needs a 10 to tie Leanne, so not technically done yet.
So far, this routine has been great. The artistry, she keeps the crowd so engaged. Another great night for Selena Harris Miranda. This first pass, front tuck, step out into her double tuck. One thing I love, she gets right to her lunge. And then finishes 1.5, front half into a double stag. Beautifully done.
A 9-7 clinched the meet for Florida. I am pretty sure we just saw a 9-7 from Selena Harris Miranda, but Missouri is going to try to close this out in style with one of the best in the country, Helen Hu, ranked 3rd in the NCAA behind only Jade Carey and Faith Torres of Oklahoma.
Now, Alex, we said that Missouri needed to break into the 9.9. Addison Lawrence did just that, setting up Helen for a really big score here.
This is already guaranteed to be Missouri's 6th straight 197 plus score.
Front aerial, front aerial.
Wow.
I mean, this is poetic, her beam routine.
It's artistry in action.
Showcasing that flexibility. Just the dismount. Oh, tiny hop on the dismount. I know we wanted a stuck landing, but that routine, I mean, she just does it so effortlessly. Woo. Start things off, front aerial to front aerial. And I saw her in warm-ups. Alex, she was honing in on that stuck landing. Tiny hop.
We're going to close it out here with Dani Ferris, the sophomore from Palm Coast, Florida, who grew up a Gator fan. She always knew she wanted to go to Florida, and her mom is in the building as well. Her mom is Moroccan, her idol, and this entire floor routine is an homage to her. Florida has a 198-125 already, and that matches the highest score in the nation this season. Who does it belong to? Florida. Did it against Georgia.
Huge tuck pull in for Dani to start this floor routine.
Florida's dropping a 9-9 at the moment, and Harris Miranda's score of 9.975 just missed tying Leanne Wong for the all-around. She wins it with a 39.75.
1.5 to front layout. Nice control on that landing. Gorgeous routine for Dani Ferris. It looks like Florida will be dropping that 9-9, making this an exceptional event for Florida tonight.
What a meet. And what a score for Missouri with the 197.725. They obliterate their season high, which came at home against Georgia with a 197.425. That is the second highest score in program history. We mentioned that this might be the best team they've ever had in Columbia.
And Alex, we talk about winning and losing. Yes, Missouri lost to Florida tonight, but it is all about the road scores right now. NQS is happening, so these teams can't really focus on the winning and the losing, but putting up those big scores.
And they wanted to replace a 196.75 earlier in the season at Oklahoma. Well, I mean, they've done that by almost a point. Really incredible. Helen Hu's score of 9.9 solidifies that 197.725. And a 9.9 for Dani Ferris means they drop one of the 3 9.9s. But tonight belonged to Selena Harris Miranda in so many ways. The first 10-0 in college on vault this year.
And well-deserved. I mean, she sticks it cold every time.
Harris Miranda celebrating. Leanne Wong was able to win the all-around. Just nipped Selena Harris Miranda. Florida with the win by 4/10, but both teams are going to be incredibly excited about what they saw, especially the Gators bouncing back from Sloan Blakely and Anya Pilgrim's injuries a week ago. Well, that will do it for us here in Gainesville with Bridget Sloan. For our entire fantastic SEC Network crew, I'm Alex Perlman saying so long. We're going to get you to Fayetteville. Number 17 Alabama taking on 16th ranked Arkansas in Bud Walton Arena. John Roethlisberger, Sam Pescick, Taylor Davis, all yours.